Alright, everybody, welcome back to another Arena Football Nation YouTube channel video. We are back after taking a break. We hope everyone had a wonderful Christmas, holidays, and New Year's. We took some time away to enjoy family and to just take a break from making videos, but we are back. It is a new year. We are excited, and there has been a lot happening since the last time we made a video. A lot of teams coming and going, a lot of leagues changing affiliations and popping up, and it's just insanity as always when it comes to arena and indoor football. And that's why we love it, right? So, yeah, this will be a very big video. This is going to be pushing close to an hour possibly, so I will have timestamps, and if you can't watch it all the way through, please, get where you leave off, click off the video, and come back and finish. Because we are going to try to pack as much content as possible in this video and cover all the major leagues leading up to the 2025 season. And that will include, just off the top of my head, we're going to cover a little bit of the AIF. They are still around evidently. But, alright, the league was done, but no, it's still around evidently. And, yeah, we'll see what's going on there. You also have, of course, the Indoor Football League and the National Arena League. And then, of course, Arena Football 1. All the Arena Football League teams that left and started another league. So there's a ton of content in this video, like I said. We're going to cover a lot and see if we can make sense of it all. But, yeah, as always, I appreciate you checking out the video. I really appreciate it if you like it, and subscribe to the channel. We're back to making videos. Going to start, pumping out this content so you have something to enjoy. And like I said, we appreciate all the support and everybody who watches our videos. Once again, like I said, I hope you had a wonderful holidays, Christmas, New Year's, and I hope you have a healthy and happy 2025. All right, everybody, let's get right into it. First off, let's knock out AIF. So, like I said, we thought the AIF was done. You had all the teams leave the AIF at the end of the 2024 season, the commissioner as well, and it looked like it was just done for. It was a rocky season. Things weren't perfect, obviously, for a lower arena league, but to sum it all up, from what we can see, you had at the end of the season, all the remaining teams in AIF departed for the leagues. The Tritons initially were going with the rest of the teams to the National Arena League, but ended up after having a little bit of a dispute with the league over, I'm assuming, scheduling conflicts, maybe arena availability, something along that lines. But something like that happened, and they end up leaving, going to Arena Football 1. Then, of course, the Harrisburg Stampede, as you may know, they were supposed to go to the National Arena League as well, but they ended up folding and ceasing operations on December 3rd, 2024. But after all that, like I said, open and shut bookcase type deal. We assumed that the league was done. Next thing you know, on November 5th, 2024, the AIF named Mike McCoy as commissioner. McCoy has previously spent the 2024 season as deputy commissioner of the Arena Football League, and previously has been the final commissioner of the Champions Indoor Football, for those that remember that league as well. Then on Christmas Day, of course, you had the IF making the announcement that they're welcoming the West Michigan Ironmen back to the league. Yes, of course, they were once a part of AIF, so now this is their return of them to the league. Nice to see West Michigan Ironmen in the news. Hey, when I said join a big league, this isn't what I meant, guys. But, hey, still going strong, it looks like, and now they're joining the third iteration of the AIF, it seems. Yeah, like I said, the last time they played here was in 2016, and since then they've been playing in the Great Lakes Arena Football, which is that league that they pretty much essentially ran. So it looks like they'll continue to play teams from the Great Lakes Arena Football League, and including to the AIF schedule. So how is that possible, you may ask? Well, it's because the AIF only has 3 teams going into the 2025 season. That's right, only 3 teams, and the schedule is. I'll throw the schedule up real quick so you can see it. It's just as crazy and wonky as you would think it sounds. A lot of bye weeks, and only so many times 3 teams can play each other in a year. And the other two teams are, of course, the River Kings. Yes, that team's still around as well. You know, these things just will not go away, it feels like. But yeah, the River Kings are still alive. They're still kicking. They're going to be playing this year in the AIF as well. And the Coralville Chaos, who are another team that actually shares the same ownership as the River Kings. So yeah, 3 teams. You got a league, evidently, in the AIF. Where there's a will, there's a way. I guess there's just enough interest to keep this thing going. But either way, hey, I want to see the game succeed. I want these players to get paid. And I want to continue to have opportunities for people. So if this is what it takes for those things to happen, and hopefully everything goes smooth, then so be it. AIF, 3rd version, 2025 season. You have 3 teams: River Kings, Chaos, and West Michigan Ironman. Alright. So I'll do some coverage a little bit as we go on this year. I know there ain't going to be too much to say, you know, with a 3-team league. But we will do what we can to cover some stuff. I did cover the AIF last year, so I felt it was only right to mention them in this video and say that they were continuing. If you were a fan of those teams or you're in that region, there you go. You have some local football along with all the other options to go see. All right, let's jump right into the next one. We have the Arena Football 1. Now, what is there to say? We covered a little bit of how this league came to be last year in our videos when this all came to a head, and you had the Arena Football League teams leaving to create this new league. A lot of issues. I mean, there's been so many people who's made videos about just what a disaster the Arena Football League was and this past year, and just what absolute insanity it was. Like I said, we didn't make videos on it because I didn't even want to bring attention to it. I didn't believe in it, and I thought it was just ridiculous what was happening. You know, it was borderline a disgrace to the game of arena football. And, yeah, I just didn't even want to talk about it. It was so depressing at points. But hopefully, you know, as we turn the page, hopefully this new league, new ownership, all these new people, you know, running this new Arena Football 1 league, we'll do right by the game, we'll do right by players, we'll do right by fans, and we will have a smooth, you know, season with a lot of great football action. You know, at the end of the day, a lot of people love the Arena Football game, the true Arena Football League rules and the way of style of play and everything else, which I respect it, I get it, and I did too at one point. You know, I've followed this game for a long time. I remember when the original Arena Football League was a thing, and you know, the second coming of the Arena Football League. But yeah, so hopefully they do things right and we can have another fun season with as little as possible drama. But of course, before we even get going, this is almost that with almost every league, you have these issues that pop up, and yeah, we'll talk about it as we get into it. So just really quickly, we'll get into what this is going to be. So Arena Football is back. You're going to have Commissioner Jeff Fisher and the Arena Football team owners that are now part of this league. They're excited to announce that, you know, this is the league will be starting in 2025 this year, and you have a couple of new organizations, and I think it's going to be some good fun. You're going to have great talent. Yeah, at the end of the day, you still have some teams in here that are, you know, absolute mainstays. You got the Albany Firebirds, Orlando Predators, Billings Outlaws. These are still big team names, or big name teams, and household names essentially. So Commissioner Fisher said, "I got both feet in this, and I'm 100% ready to go. This league has a great group of people who are going to make amazing things happen on and off the field." That was a quote by Commissioner Fisher, officially now running this league. And yeah, it looks like they might have everything good to go. Hopefully, we'll see. You know, all talk, but we won't really know what the at the end of the day what we're going to get until we start playing these games, right? But yeah, we will see. The inaugural AF1 season will feature 12 teams spread across 3 divisions, and we'll get back to that. But yeah, it's not really 12. We had some teams already fall, but yeah. They will all play, a schedule. They're going to break it up into 3, divisions. And, yeah, we'll take a look at everything as we get to it. So, if you want to go over the teams, here's a little map of what Arena Football 1 is going to look like. You have in the East, the Albany Firebirds, playing at an MVP Arena, of course. The Nashville Cats, still around. It's been a little quiet, but they are still going to play, and they're still a team. Still in the Nashville Municipal Auditorium. Then the Orlando Predators playing at the Kia Center. And the new team that we announced, the Wilkes-Barre Scranton, or Barry, I'm sorry. I remember that was an issue. I couldn't remember the way to pronounce the name, but there you go. They actually announced their team finally. And we did make a video on this because it was around that time period when we were taking a break, but they're going to be called the Mavericks. A lot of people wish they were the Pioneers, which is the old Arena Football League team name, but they do have in their logo, as I'll show it here on the screen, they do have some pretty good little callbacks to that, while at the end of the day starting a new identity in the Mavericks. So that looks like a pretty stacked division. Like I said, the Arena Football 1 is going to go with 3 divisions, and we'll discuss how that will go for playoffs and everything soon. But yeah, East, Nashville Cats, Orlando Predators, Albany Firebirds, and the Mavericks. So pretty stacked division. Looks to be like it's going to be a pretty big dogfight there. It's a lot of the old guard essentially for the Arena Football League when it comes to brands, and we'll see how the Mavericks hold up in their first year. Excuse me. But next up, you have the Central Division. You're going to have what essentially was going to be just the Kansas Division, if we're being honest, because you had the 3 teams that were the Kansas teams that are coming over from the Arena Football League. But now you just have the Salina Liberty, the Southwest Kansas Storm, and the Corpus Christi Tritons. Yes, that Corpus Christi that was from the AIF, and they were supposed to go to the National Arena League. Like I said, they're going to pop back up here in a minute. But Corpus Christi, they had the issues with the National Arena League when it came to scheduling and arena dates and all that good stuff. So they ended up leaving. Didn't work out with the NAL, and now they're with the Arena Football 1 League. And they're going to be in the Central Division with the other 2 Kansas teams. What happened to the third one? Well, unfortunately, the Wichita Regulators, they were supposed to play this season. They ended up going dormant and will supposedly, I believe, be coming back. But with Arena Football, you never know with these brands and these teams and owners. It's a really fickle business, and it's tough. I mean, we all know it's tough, and it can be expensive. So hopefully they come back. If not, Wichita Regulators, it was a fun run, but they should be back hopefully next year. And that's what you're going to have for the Central. Only 3 teams, but really going to be an interesting division. I'd like to see how Corpus Christi does. I had high hopes for them coming into the NAL. I thought they were a pretty solid franchise. They did really well in their first year last year in the AIF. Overall as a franchise, I thought they ran pretty well. So interested to see how they do in AF1, and then of course the Liberty and Storm. They're both solid as well. So that should be a fun division as well. Next up, you have the West, and in the West we have the returning champions from the Arena Football League, the Billings Outlaws. What can you say about the Billings Outlaws? They're solid. Overall, they're an absolutely solid franchise. They have some great players, great coaches. They obviously won the league last year, or the Arena Football League, and I expect them to come in ready to defend their crown in this new league. It's gonna be tough to knock off the champ, right? So I fully expect them to reload and be ready to come back in this league and make another huge impact. And in the West, they're gonna have some new faces and an old one, and that's because the Washington Wolfpack is back from the Arena Football League, and they are going to be playing at the Angel of Winds Arena. So going to have the Wolfpack back as well, but then you're going to have the Oregon Lightning out of the First Interstate Bank Center, and the Arizona Bandits. That's right, the Arizona Bandits. That new team that we thought for the past couple years was going to be coming into the new Arena Football League. Well, they're officially announced and going to be playing this year. So playing out of Tempe, Arizona. So that's going to be interesting. You're going to have a team in a state where you have one of the most perennial powerhouses when it comes to brand recognition and talents, just overall how solid a franchise as you can get in a sport, in the Arizona Rattlers. Really interested to see how that works out. Can the Bandits pull any real fan support when you have such a deadlock on that state and that region with the Rattlers? It's going to be interesting to see how that works out. And the owners and the people who are running the Bandits, they seem to think that they can build something there. So really, like I said, really interested to see how that works. Oregon Lightning, we'll see how that works out again. I know the last Oregon team that was in the Arena Football League, that was part of that didn't really work out. But yeah, I mean, you got hopefully a big rivalry with the Wolfpack, the region over there. And we'll see how it goes. That's the West. So next up, you're going to have, those teams that were supposed to play, that were announced. We even made videos about it. I was pretty interested to see how these teams would do. And I thought they'd make a big splash, honestly. So really disappointing to see. But, at the end of the day, like I said, when it comes to these leagues and arena football, it's not a surprise. And that's the Stockton Crusaders. They're playing out of Stockton, California. The Monterey Kings, if you remember, the Mexican team that was supposed to play this year. And then obviously Wichita Regulators. They all three are supposed to return in 2026. Obviously, the issues that came with starting up the franchise, to play in time for the 2025 season, those issues were, obviously not able to be overcome to make it happen. So they're going to take a step back, figure things out, re-up the programs, and, get ready for 2026. So there you have it. You're going to have 3, 4, 5. You're going to have 11 teams, not 12. With the Regulators falling out for this season. So how will that work, you're asking, with 3 divisions? I always do think that they did 3 divisions just for the scheduling, making it more regional, and travel expenses. Obviously, that's always a big issue when it comes to these leagues. And yeah, that's what I think it's all about. From what I understand, you're going to have the 3 champions, or not champions, excuse me. You're going to have 3 division leaders. They're going to get automatically into the playoffs, and you're going to have the next 3 at large from all 3 divisions make the playoffs as well, giving you your 16 playoff. So yeah, that sounds pretty fair to me. Sounds like it should be a lot of fun. Really competitive playoffs. And it makes it to where, do you want that bye and the seeding when it comes to the playoffs. So I think it should be a fun season. Hopefully it's ran well and we have no issues. I just hope that all teams that start the year finish the year. At the very least, let's have a well-ran season, lots of action. Let's just have something run right, and have just a fun season. No issues, no drama. That'd be great. And yeah, we'll just, like I said, we'll see how it works. So that is Arena Football 1. All right, so taking a look at the schedule for Arena Football 1, it looks like in Week 1, you're going to have Orlando at Southwest Kansas and Wilkes-Barre at Corpus Christi. That will be March 7th through 10th. And then the following week is when we will really open it up. You have Albany going to Orlando, Arizona at Oregon, Billings at Washington, Nashville at Wilkes, and Southwest Kansas at Corpus. So yeah, there you go. You're going to have a little graphic showing the schedules for everybody throughout the year. And yeah, you're going to have the season officially kick off on March 7th. And then it will conclude the weekend of July 12th. Just some little highlights here for the schedule as you look at it. There will be 3 weeks of playoffs. You're going to have the quarterfinals, the semifinals, and then a week off before the final championship game. Each team will play a 12-game regular season schedule featuring both divisional and cross-divisional matchups. And here's some other news for people who are asking about streaming or how they will show these games. Vice TV will air select AF1 games as part of their Sunday nights in the arena programming block. So they will have some type of streaming or TV for their games. Additional broadcasts and streaming partnerships will be, announced soon. And then, of course, you have the full schedule, including dates, times, and streaming information, will be available on the official AF1 website. So there you go. Let me know, are you a season ticket holder, or are you just excited for the Arena Football 1? What are your opinions, thoughts? And are you excited for this upcoming season? I know there is a big diehard, fan base of people who just love the game of Arena Football and the rules set and how it's played, and you still got a product there to watch and support. So let me know below. What are you excited for most? Are you a season ticket holder, or are you going to give this league another chance? I know it's a different league and overall, and it's a completely different entity, but I mean, the core set of teams and people running it, it's most of it's the same except for the top head brass. So yeah, let me know, comments below. And that's the upcoming Arena Football 1 season. All right, next up we have the Arena League. So if you haven't heard about the Arena League yet, that is literally the name. The logo is the AL. We'll have it up here on the screen, of course, with some pictures. And yeah, the Arena League. It's an indoor American football league in the United States, obviously. The league launched in 2024 with 4 teams playing 6-on-6 football, but it has since expanded to 6 teams and will start playing regular 7-on-7 indoor football in its 2nd season. So yes, the Arena League. So this is another small league that started up last year, and I'll be honest, I was skeptical. I didn't really think it was going to be something too serious. Another one of these like small flyby leagues that don't last even the full season. And the concept was different, right? So you have a smaller amount of players on the field. A lot of them are, I think, 15-man rosters, if I'm correct. So you have a lot of players playing both sides of the ball. And yeah, it was only 4 teams in the league. So shorter season, of course. Getting close to that AIF this year territory is where I was, mentally at when I was seeing what was going on with this league. Could have made a video on it, probably should have, because they ended up being very successful. Had some great, reviews from fans that did go to the games. I watched a little bit of the streams for the games. Kind of took me a minute to warm up to it, if I'm being honest. Didn't like the style of play too much. I was a little iffy when I was watching. I'm just so used to, normal arena and indoor football. That took me a minute to get warmed up to it, but after a while, it was pretty fun. It was enjoyable to watch. Still arena football at the end of the day. And hey, as long as the leagues ran well and the players are making money, playing the game they love, getting opportunities to go up the ladder or just keep playing, hey man, that's all I care about. So I'm excited and happy to see that this league did really well in its first year. And yeah, it was successful enough that they're coming back with year 2. And they've even expanded. Yeah, so pretty awesome to see. Happy to see there's another league that, has some integrity and is being run really well. Commissioner, of course, is Tim Brown. If you know who that is, obviously. And yeah, we'll just go over real quick. So here's a little map of the teams. And as you can see, they are a Midwest heavy league. And I think that's, smart. When you start off, what we've learned as we've watched the game, and I've been covering these leagues, is when you start off, unless you have some significant financial backing, at the end of the day, you want to stay regional to really keep that travel expenses down, really keep it to where it's not too crazy on that end of the game. And yeah, teams just have a chance to just maximize the opportunities elsewhere when it comes to the game. And that's what the Arena League did. They are staying Midwest, and it's just straight down the country is where they have all their teams. As you can see, and we'll go over the teams, you start up in Minnesota, and you have the Duluth Harbor Monsters. And they are, as far as I remember, they are the defending champions. And actually came up as underdogs going into that game. It was a little bit of an upset. I think the Goats only lost 1 game in the regular season, or they were undefeated. I can't remember exactly. It's been a minute since I looked at it, but yeah, either way, They are returning champions, the Duluth Harbor Monsters. They play, obviously, in Duluth at the Kramer Service Group Field at DECC Arena. Next up, you have the Eau Claire Axemen. This is one of the expansion teams. They play out of Eau Claire, Wisconsin. The Sonatag Event Center. Next up, you have the Hot Springs Wise Guys. This is the other expansion team. They play out of Hot Springs, Arkansas, at the Bank of OZK Arena. Then the other three returning teams from last year. So that's obviously great. You have teams that started in year one. They're returning. You know, you're keeping that core together. Operations obviously were successful, and they either broke even or made money. So that's great. You have the Iowa Blue. They play out of Waterloo, Iowa, at the Hippodrome. Then you have the Kansas City Goats. This was the team that we thought were just going to run away with it. They're really, really successful. Made it all the way to the championship, then ended up losing to the Harbor Monsters. They played at St. Joseph, Missouri, at the St. Joseph Civic Center. And then you have our final team for this upcoming season, the Ozarks Lunkers. Springfield, Missouri, playing out of the Wilson Logistics Arena. So one really interesting thing that I noticed when you look at this is their arena sizes are really small. You know, they're playing in places that are under double digits. You know, it looks like 6,000 at the Bank OZK Arena is the biggest. 6,050 is what it's listed as capacity. So that's the other thing. You know, they're being really smart. When it comes to arena indoor football, 6,000 and less. That's what a majority of the teams have at these games. Yes, of course, you have some teams who do, you know, get closer to 8, 9, 10,000 plus fans going to these games. But most of them, it's on a smaller scale. So when you watch these games, it actually doesn't look bad when you see the stands and the number of fans at these games. So I think that's another smart thing. They're choosing arenas that are on the smaller end, and these teams are looking like they're being very successful when it comes to fan attendance. At the end of the day, it is for what they're given. But yeah, I mean, I think that's just a little thing I want to point out that I thought was pretty smart. The way they're running this and the operational behind the scenes and the choices they're making, it looks like they're being very particular with their choices of, you know, cities that are going to host these teams. And yeah, I'm really excited for year 2. It's good to see that they are successful and they're going to be back. So if you have not heard of the Arena League and you are curious, be sure to check them out this upcoming season. We'll do some coverage of them, you know, give them their fair shake. And yeah, I think it's just really awesome to see a team, you know, a league and some teams come together, start fresh, and do it the right way, and have a lot of success. So here we go. We'll take a look at their schedule. So their season is going to start up on May 30th and 31st. Week 1, you're going to have the Harbor Monsters at Iowa Woo, and that's Friday, May 30th at 7 p.m. Then you're going to have the Eau Claire and the Hot Springs take on the Hot Springs Wise Guys May 31st at 7, and then the Kansas City at Ozarks May 31st as well. So they're going to have a 9-week schedule, and here's the graphic thrown up here for you to see as well. And yeah, just let me know, what do you think about the Arena League? Are you a fan? Now, I'm really curious to see if anybody's watching these videos that already followed this league. Did you go to some games? What are your experiences with them? You know, I obviously didn't talk about them. I didn't go to any games, so still kind of fresh for me. I'm still, getting into the Arena League. I only watched a few games last year. I did a little bit of research, but it seemed to be running really well. And here they are back with year 2 with some expansion. So pretty awesome, pretty excited. So let me know if you've been to any games or you're having experience with it. And how excited are you? Are you a season ticket holder this upcoming year or this year now? And yeah, just let me know in the comments below. So that will be the Arena League for the 2025 season. We will do coverage as we get closer, of course, and during the season. All right, next up we have the National Arena League. And man, what a ride it's been with the NAL. I've been following this league since the inception, and all the ups and downs, all the teams have come and gone. All the lowest of lows when you thought this league was going to go under, to the highest of highs when you've had very successful years for the league with teams. And it's just been one wild ride. It's been insanity. But here we are in year 8 of the National Arena League, and I think this is the best year yet that they're going to have. I'm really excited. This is the most excited I am for any of these leagues, is for this one, because you're going to have some great storylines. You're going to have some very talented teams, and it's a true national league at this point. Nobody can deny that. There's a lot of naysayers out there who have been saying that the NAL was going to go away a long time ago, and they'll crack their jokes and they'll say that whatever they want to say. I'm not going to lie. At one point, I had very little faith in the league. But through it all, through the teams coming and going, the leadership changes, the drama, it's still there. It's still here. The National Arena League is still going strong and better than ever, in my opinion, in 2025, with the additions they have made and the structure they have set up. We all knew in 2024 was going to be a transitional year. There's a lot of things that changed and that need to be done. You're going to have some growing pains, like I said in the past, and I still think they got through the year. Minimal damage at the end of the day. It was still rough, and there were still the issues, teams folding and whatnot, but at the end of the day, they got through it, and I truly believe that the level that the NAL could be at and the potential would all depend on if they could get through last year and stay together. And they did that. And they have some very exciting expansion teams that came in for this year. And I just can't be any more over the hill about it. So really excited for the NAL this year and checking out all these games. So who do we got? What's going on? Let's throw that map up there and go over these teams. So first off, you have the Amarillo Dusters. They are playing at the Amarillo Civic Center. And one of the expansion teams for this upcoming year. Really excited to see how this team does, because you don't know what you're going to get. The Amarillo, as a city, is historic when it comes to franchises and the number of teams they've had and some of the teams that they have had in the past. And they do have a dedicated fan base. I truly believe that you got that West Texas region and market area. Those are some hardcore dedicated fans when it comes to the sport of football and players. So you don't know what you're going to get with this. What kind of roster they build? What can the coach? I believe it's Trey Ivory. What is he going to have thrown together in this? First season in the NAL. Well, it's going to be exciting to see. I believe in the day. No matter how the team does, hopefully the fans come out and support it and give it their all like they have in the past, and get really behind the team, because I feel like that's going to be a big thing that they're going to need to be successful this upcoming year. Those hardcore football fans, they're going to need them to be successful. So Amarillo Dusters, you're going to have them coming in. Next up, your other Texas football team, you have the Beaumont Renegades. Really excited for them as well, playing out of the Ford Arena. I watched a couple of videos from Inside the Walls podcast, and when they were going through all the owners and interviewing them, I thought the owner for Beaumont was a pretty cool guy. I think he has the right mindset, and he's really going into this year with this team, really all in. And wanting to do right by the fans and the players and have a really solid franchise. So they're another expansion team that I think will the fans come out and support them? What will they build for this upcoming season? Who knows? Hopefully it's some really good talent, and we have some great football, because I believe honestly this is the first year for the NL where we're going to have some really solid teams that are expansion teams. The potential is there, and I'm excited to see what they bring to the table. So Beaumont. Next up, you have one of your mainstay programs or I should say franchises, in the Carolina Cobras. Carolina is one of the teams that's, like I said before in the past, they're one of the old guard at this point. You know, you have the Sharks have left, Albany has left. You have all these other teams that were, you know, mainstay, big, you know, names, household names, but also the Sharks were with the NAL since the beginning. So all those teams have left. Some have returned. We'll get to that. But the Cobras are now the oldest team that's been consistently in the NAL. Some would say they had a little bit of a disappointing season last year. They didn't make the playoffs, but that was also because the playoffs for the NAL was just two teams, the top two teams making it in the championship game. So, you know, not making the championship, that's not good for the Carolina fans. That's what their goal is. They always want to make the championship. They want to make a deep playoff run. You know, you have some solid fans out there in Carolina. So, yeah, they're back, of course. And they're going to look to make a big run this year. It's going to be a very competitive season. And I think there's going to be some fantastic games, like I said in the past. And man, we have two conferences. I'll get to that. The American and the National, and it's essentially the East Coast and the West. But man, that American, the East Coast level, you got the three solid teams that are coming in. So it's going to be a tough one to win that. But really excited nonetheless. It's good to see the Cobras back, of course. And, you know, of course, Coach Nezron, you know, he's a great coach. So excited to see what he brings this year. Next up, you have a team that was an expansion team last year, and that's the Colorado Spartans. Now, they're a team that, of course, they had their expansion woes. They're having a tough time, you know, getting through. But I think they got better as the year went on, and they, you know, had some pretty great, you know, good, solid games there at the end of the stretch last year. I think they're a team that could be sneaky good this year, honestly. They were kind of sneaky good at the end of last season, but I think Coach Fred Shaw, you know, he's going to come back with a vengeance, looking to really take it to some teams this year, and he's going to build a solid team there in Denver, Colorado. So really excited to see what the Spartans bring. You know, they're playing out of the Denver Coliseum, and I look to see some great things from them. They're probably my one team that I'm honestly having the most anticipation to see how good they do. I have high hopes for them because I thought that they were going to be one of those teams that could knock off the Beef or the Bandits there at the end of last year. Yeah, that's how high I was on them. So excited to see what they have. I know Coach Fred Shaw will have them, you know, ready to go come game time. Next up, we have the return of the Columbus Lions. Yes, where they should have been all along in the NAL is my opinion. I was saying that from the get-go. They never should have left. But, you know, I understand it's a business and they got to do what they got to do. I respect that. But the Columbus Lions are back. And they are one of three teams that had an undefeated, dominant season last year. In the AF, the Columbus Lions went undefeated, won the championship, and now they are back in the National Arena League. Of course, playing out of the Columbus Civic Center and head coach Damian Daniels. I am really excited to see some games between the Lions and some of the other teams in this league. Like I said already, you have three teams that are going to be undefeated and powerhouse programs in the game of arena and indoor football. The Omaha Beef, the Columbus Lions, and the Wheeling Miners. So, what league can say that? Three undefeated champions coming in 2025. Nobody. So, pretty exciting stuff, and I'm sure Columbus, they're a powerhouse usually. Always have super aggressive, strong teams. You know, knockout, punch in the mouth football type of deal. I watched a good amount of their games, and man, they are physical and big usually when it comes to the players that they recruit. So really excited to see what they do in this league. Really gonna be put to the test. Honestly, the leagues they were in the past, AIF and everything else, they were the big dogs and they were just manhandling everybody. So I'm really excited to see how they do against this great, you know, much better competition. And man, it's gonna be some great football, guys. I'm really excited. So that's the Columbus Lions, of course. Idaho Horsemen. Idaho Horsemen with they've been running as a franchise for a good while. 2018, I believe. Yeah, Chris Reynolds, as a head coach. I think he's done a great job keeping this franchise afloat. And I played at Nampa, the Fort Idaho Center. Idaho, they were off in their own little corner, holding it down when it came to that region and then indoor arena football. And they made the jump up to the NAL last year, which I commend them for. They're one of those teams, not as bad as West Michigan, but they're getting to that point where I was like, man, when are y'all gonna play some real teams? Stop with that little league you have, you're doing, and where you just beat up on everybody and you run things, and go play in a big league with some real teams. And they did that, and I respect the hell out of that, and I think they did a great job. They obviously, weren't where they wanted to be, record-wise and everything. But just like the Spartans, I think they should have a bounce back year. I'm excited to see how they do, and just really glad to see them come back for another year. That's what I love to see: consistency, teams coming back, having a great year, coming back, and staying in a franchise that's running strong still. Next up, you have the Omaha Beef. What does it say about the Omaha Beef? They're one of the oldest continuously running football arena and indoor football teams. They're always dominant, always successful, have a really awesome arena. Probably one of the best arenas that I've seen when I watch games. Love the orange field. Fan base is insane. Great fan base. Love to see them on game day. Mike Tatum, fantastic coach, runs a tight ship there. So I don't know what to say about Omaha. They're the perennial defending champions. They're a powerhouse program, and they're looking to stay on top. They're going to look to defend that championship. That's all there is to say. There's nothing else really else to say about Omaha, and looking to have just another great year where the standard is to win it all or go home type of deal. So next up, you have the Shreveport Rougarou, another expansion team, coached by Pat Pimmel. And they are playing out of the Hirsch Memorial Coliseum. Really excited to see how they do. They look to be like another team that, is coming out strong when it comes to branding recognition, trying to do things right, building a good team. I think they'll be another team that, obviously they're expansion, but I think they'll, shock some people, do really well. I'm really excited for the state of Louisiana to get another team. I've always said that I wish that the New Orleans Voodoo would come back and be done right, because I really did enjoy them. I thought they had great branding. I think their fan base was awesome. The arena was solid, back in the day when we were watching them in the Arena Football League. So I'm really excited to see Louisiana get in their team. Hopefully they're done right, ran right, and successful. And the fans go out and pack that arena and really go and show some support. I think it's an awesome branding they got there, the Rougarou. Took me a second to figure that one out, but really excited, high on them to do well in their first year. If they don't make the playoffs, so be it. I'm not saying that they need to do that, but man, I'm looking to see them have a very successful year, have some great fan interaction, and do well and build something that will hopefully last for a while. Sioux City Bandits, another team that's been around. They're perennial powerhouse teams that everybody, it feels like, knows who they are, especially if you're in the Midwest. When you love this game, you cover it or you follow it pretty well. The arch rivals of the Omaha Beef. They had the championship game last year. It's usually them two, right there at the end, and any league they're in. And they're coached really well by Irv Strobing, and they play at the Tyson Event Center. So really excited for the Bandits to be back. Obviously, they're one of the teams. Obviously, we should never have any worry about a team folding. I know it's like you never know if a team's coming back. That the mentality, unfortunately, that it comes with this game. But the Bandits and the Beef, that's two you shouldn't have to worry about. They have some very, very solid ownership teams, and they have some great coaching staffs and front office staff and all that. So I'm excited to see them back. They're going to be right there, right at the end. I fully expect them to be making a playoff push, trying to get back that championship game and knock off the Beef. So excited to see what they bring to the table, of course. And then lastly, the Wheeling Miners. playing at West Banco Arena, coached by Josh Resinato. Man, what is there to say? The Wheeling Miners, I'm so high on this team. I had a great time watching them play last year. I covered them here on the channel. Yeah, I made a video about them, and yeah, man, they just knocked it out of the park. I think the arena was perfect. Really enjoyed watching the games. Loved the whole branding. I think it fit perfectly. Just about everything that they did right for the most part. Like, it was just, I thought they had really solid fan support in their first year playing in the smaller league that they were in, and of course, no doubt they had to jump up after going undefeated and winning that league. They had to jump up to the big leagues. That's what they did, and really excited to see how Josh does, Coach Josh, with a team that they're going to build for the National Arena League. I think they're going to come in and they're going to be pushovers. I think they're going to be right there at the top. Man, I can't wait for not only the season, but the playoffs are going to be insane. I think these you have so many teams that are going to be solid this year. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch, and they're going to be right there at the end. I'm sure making a playoff push, if not, right there in the championship game. I wouldn't doubt it. Coach Rez is no slouch. He's been in this game for a long time, and he knows what he's doing. So, man, what a cast of coaches. They're all fantastic, and I'm really high in the NAL. I think it's going to be an awesome season. We're going to cover it, of course. And, yeah, just really excited. Let me know below. Any NAL fans down here, our season ticket holders, anyone else that's excited for this upcoming season. And that is the NAL for 2025. We have, of course, a schedule. We'll go ahead and show that as well. So here we go. You have the National Arena League announcing the news regarding the 2025 season just in time for the holidays. So obviously we were making videos, but here is where they announced the schedule for the 2025 season. We will kick off the season with 10 teams. Unfortunately, you had the teams that fell off, but still 10 teams is a solid league. And for the first time in league history, it will feature 2 divisions: the National Division and the American Division. So yeah, like I said before, in the I'm gonna go with American first because that's the East Coast, but American Division, you got the Renegades, the Cobras, the Lions, the Rougarou, and the Miners. The National Division is gonna be the Dusters, Spartans, Horsemen, Beef, Bandits. And in 2025, the National Arena League will have a 4-team playoff with the top 2 teams from each division competing in the postseason. The highest seed from each division will host a divisional playoff round. The winners of the divisional round will compete in the National Arena League Championship game. In addition, the National Arena League has modified its 2025 regular season schedule based on the active 10 teams competing this season. See below for the full 2025 regular season schedule. Week 1, you're going to have the Bandits at the Renegades, Beef taking on the Rougarou. That's on Saturday, March 8th. Then the 9th, you're going to have the Amarillo Dusters take on the Columbus Lions. Then on Monday, you're going to have the Colorado Spartans take on the Wheeling Miners. That will leave the Horsemen and the Cobras of the bye. And like I said, there's the rest of the schedule. The end of the season will be Week 13 on Saturday, May 31st, with the Miners taking on the Lions, Renegades at Rougarou, Bandits at Dusters, and Beef at Colorado Spartans. So there's the schedule. Obviously, they had to make a revision with the teams that fell out. You had the, unfortunately, you had the issues that had to cause the Tritons to leave, unfortunately, and Arena Football 1. And then, of course, unfortunately, the other team that we're missing is the Stampede, Harrisburg Stampede. They had to cease operations. So yes, we're supposed to have 12 teams in the league. 2 dropped, but that's okay. Still looks like it's going to be a very exciting, awesome season. So really excited to see how this turns out. It's going to be some great games. I think it's going to be a very competitive league. And yeah, should be a lot of fun. All right, next up, we will have, and finally, the perennial powerhouses when it comes to the game, the Indoor Football League. So, what is there to say? The Indoor Football League, IFL. This will be, if I believe I'm right, it's be the 17th season for the IFL. So the longest running league, playing the game we love. You have some of the biggest brands in the game, obviously, in this league. Should be another fantastic season. Man, just what else does it say? You know, it's not the Arena Football League, but this is as close as you're going to get when it comes to the game of the league and the game of old that we all enjoyed. You just got all the big teams: the Arizona Rattlers, Bay Area Panthers. You know, just Jacksonville Sharks. I think the Vegas Nighthawks. You know, Pirates, Blizzard, Barnstormers. You know, these are all the big teams that are nationwide we know about. So really excited to see how this season turns out. Of course, you know, it should be another fun year. You have a couple teams that fell out, but they should be coming back hopefully if everything goes well. So let's take a look at the map. And for the 2025 season, you are going to have an expansion team in the Fisher's Freight in the Eastern Conference. For those that don't know, you're going to have two conferences, just like with the NAL. You're going to have an Eastern and a Western Conference. And in the Eastern Conference, first up, we're going to have the Fisher's Freight, like I said, out of Indiana. They're going to be coached by Dixie Wooten. So pretty exciting to see him take up a new venture, you know, coaching an expansion team. You know, Dixie's a solid coach. He knows what he's doing, and I think he's going to, you know, build a pretty good franchise from the ground up when it comes to the roster and how he's going to run things. Excited for the Fisher's Freight. They're playing out that new arena that, you know, the Fisher's Event Center, and their capacity is like right at 6,500. So that should be a solid arena. Fans are going to pack that out. Should look really good on screens, and I think they're going to have some solid regional rivalries with teams like Iowa, Quad City, and Green Bay. So really excited for them. They fit the makeup of the league pretty well, and excited to see how they do. Next up, the Green Bay Blizzard. You know, they're one of the oldest running franchises, you know, like some of the others. Since 2003 is when they were founded. Playing at the Rush Center. You know, so Corey Robertson's the head coach there, obviously, and I think he's going to be trying to make another playoff push. He did really well last year. I think it was a pretty good story, the Blizzard. And, yeah, just excited to see them back as well. Next up, you have the Iowa Barnstormers playing at the Wells Fargo Arena, coached by Dave Mogensen. Excited, as always, for the Iowa Barnstormers. They're one of the just brands that you love to see. That all the way from 1995. Yeah, you have some really great stories and games with Iowa Barnstormers. So, of course, good to see them back as well. You have the Jacksonville Sharks playing at VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena. Coached by Jason Gibson. Had a rough year last year. You know, they were a new team in the IFL. Had to learn some, you know, the way the indoor game is played, coming from the NAL and AFL. And it was a little rough start, but they ended up having a pretty solid end of the season, knocking off some teams and getting some wins. So looking to see them bounce back and really make a good adaptation to the league and indoor game. Next up, you have the Massachusetts Pirates. You know, coached by Rod Miller, playing out of the Songa Center out of Lowell, Massachusetts. Another, you know, team that's been around a little minute. 2017 is when they're founded. They're always pretty solid, always making a playoff push. Excited to see them as well. Quad City Steamwheelers playing at the Vibrant Arena, coached by Corey Ross. Quad City is another team that I thought they were pretty solid last year. They had a good year. And, you know, right there with Green Bay, I'm looking to see them make another push to be pretty competitive. You know, make a playoff push. Tulsa Oilers, coached by Marvin Jones, playing at the BOK Center. They are another team that they started in 2022. They joined in 23, so they're still a younger franchise. And looking to see some, you know, great success out of them as well. Then in the Western Conference, you have the Arizona Rattlers. What is there to say? Just like with Omaha Beef, you know, they're one of the teams that's always looking to be there at the championship at the end. That's their, you know, expectations, not only as a staff, as a head coach with Kevin Guy, but also the fan base. They play at the Desert Diamond Arena, and yeah, just like every year, it's deep playoff push. Got to be in the championship. That's the goal. So the Western Conference is pretty stacked, obviously, with some great teams as well. Next up, you have the Bay Area Panthers, coached by Rob Keith, playing at the SAP Center. And yeah, what does I say? Bay Area, their mentality is just like Arizona, make it to the championship. That's the goal. So this is going to be a really stacked division. I expect it to come down to the end, just like in years past, with how competitive it will be. Next up is the Northern Arizona Wranglers, playing out of the Findlay Toyota Center, coached by Ron James. And yeah, Northern Arizona, they're a team that, if I'm being honest, I thought they were going to be an expansion team that was going to have a hard time, really getting it together and doing well, and they ended up winning the league. What was it, in their second year, I believe? And they're a younger franchise as well. So really excited to see them doing well and what they have to bring this season. Next up, the San Antonio Gunslingers, coached by Tom Manas, playing out of the Freeman Coliseum. Last year was a little bit of a downer year, just like the Jacksonville, when it came to San Antonio, adapting the rules and the way the indoor game is played. And they didn't do as bad as Jacksonville, but they didn't make the playoffs. So I fully expect them to, adapt or die. That mentality, Tom Manas is going to get it together, coach. And I think he's going to be, coming in 25, looking to make a real big statement, make a deep playoff push. Their goal obviously is to win a championship always. It's a really well-run franchise, so look out for San Antonio to be making a lot of noise in 25. Next up, you have the San Diego Strike Force, playing out of Front Wave Arena, coached by Taylor Geneser. And yeah, Strike Force, they did really well last year. I was pretty excited, and I was always high on the Strike Force to do well. I thought that the potential was always there, and man, they surprised a lot of people last year, and really excited to see them to keep riding that wave and coming back this year, making a splash. Next up, Tucson Sugar Skulls, coached by Billy Beck, out of the Tucson Convention Center. So Tucson, just another team that what can I say? Every team is overall pretty solid, well ran, but I'm sure they're looking to bounce back after last year and fix those woes, and just get right with the program and get some get some wins. I know they had a rough year last year, so looking to see them turn it around. And then the Vegas Nighthawks, coached by Mike Davis, play out of the Lee's Family Forum. It's Vegas. What else does it say? They're always looking to be flashy, do great things, be big, and I think they'll, obviously with Mike Davis at the helm, be another team that'll be competitive and look to make a big push as well. So that's all the teams competing in the 2025 season. You do have some teams that aren't playing this year that obviously you may have noticed aren't listed. And Dakota Bucks, they're still potentially going to be coming back. I know it's been a minute since we've seen them, but they are still floating around. And hopefully they find an arena, they find a home, and they're able to get it all together. But they're still listed as 26 potential return. Then Duke City Gladiators, they did not play this year. They took a step back. They unfortunately had some some issues. Unfortunately, one of the owners passed away. Obviously, terrible news. Rest in peace. And very hard to go through that and see that. So understandable the issues they are having. They looked to step back and come back in 26 as well. Did see it recently. They did get new owners, so that's good. And that's some big news. So looking to see them to return in 2026. Bigger and better than ever. Really high in Duke City. I believe it was our first year in the league. They were like, what was it, 1 or 2 plays away from beating the Rattlers and going to the playoffs. So that was a magical season. And I think they're a really unique and awesome franchise. And the whole branding, it's so arena and indoor football, if I'm being honest. And then a teal, the color, and gladiators, it just fits perfect, right? So, thoughts and prayers with the family. And hopefully, they come back better than ever in 2026. And are right where they left off bigger and better. Frisco, they bowed out as well, so they're having a I don't know if it's financial issues or maybe the ownership just they didn't want to pay for that team anymore, but they backed out as well. Who knows if they're coming back? I think they might be shopping for new owners, see with someone local to take over that team. So we'll see if they come back. They're slated to rejoin in 2026, but unfortunately, it's sad to see them go. They're always a pretty solid team, Frisco Fighters, and they just don't get over that hump in the playoffs, unfortunately. But yeah, unfortunately, see them bow out, but hopefully they're back. And then of course the Sioux Falls Storm. That's the biggest one that everybody's noticed isn't there. So they had arena issues as well, unfortunately, and sucks to see that happen. But hopefully they find a good landing spot, get everything figured out in 26, and they come back. They're another team that's been around for a long time, founded in 2000. So sucks to not see them there, but I think that if anybody can make a comeback out of these teams, it's definitely Sioux Falls. With a brand like that and the great ownership, I think it's the one thing that I can say about them is that they have the potential and the will to want to come back, and for sure, being a perennial cornerstone when it comes to a brand in the game of arena and indoor football. Yeah, everybody, that's a quick overview of the teams for the 2025 season. Let's take a look at the schedule. We'll throw that up real quick. And yeah, looks to be another pretty fun season, honestly. I'm excited for the IFL, of course. And starting it off in week 1, you're going to have the Sharks at the Mass Pirates. That's Friday, March 21st at 6 p.m. Central Time. Then the Green Bay Blizzard goes to the Quad City Steamwheelers. That'll be Friday as well. And then on Saturday, you're going to have the Tulsa Oilers at the San Antonio Gunslingers. Picking up that Texas-Oklahoma rivalry with when you had the Frisco Fighters bow out. Looking to have that be a big regional rivalry right there as well. That'll be Saturday, March 22nd. So looking at the schedule, you got obviously a great assortment of games. I think it's going to be a fun year. Really excited to see how this one turns out as well. All culminating in week 19, and that will be the end of the regular season for the IFL, going from Friday to Sunday, July 25th to the 27th. So obviously really excited for the IFL. I think they're the top dogs in the game at this point, more than ever. Really happy with what the NAL is doing when they're bounced back from last year, of course, and they're a national league as well. But the IFL clearly has the biggest brands, the biggest games, and some of the biggest names in the game when it comes to arena indoor football. So any IFL fans out there, let me know what you think of this upcoming season. Season ticket holders, fans, whatever it may be. What storylines and what are you looking forward to the most this upcoming year? Who do you think will have the best chance of winning the league this year? And really excited to see if there's any Fisher's Freight fans out there. Are y'all excited for your new expansion team? I think that overall it looks pretty solid. The logo, the arena, I'm sure their uniforms are going to look sweet. So really excited for the Fisher's Freight to make a big splash in their first year. And then, yeah. Should be another great season for 2025. Alright, everybody, that will wrap up the video. Like I said, I knew it was going to be a bit of a long one. I decided to just throw everything together instead of making multiple smaller videos. But yeah, I have timestamps and everything else, like I said. But thank you for checking out the video. I really appreciate it. And we'll do more videos as the season goes on and leading up to the season. If you haven't yet, I know a lot of people watch the channel and they aren't subscribed. If you're a return viewer, why not go ahead and subscribe? Help me get this league, or help me get this channel to bigger and better places. We're at 650 last I looked on subscribers, and I don't see no reason why we can't get 1,000. Let's help make that push. Move those chains, right? So, really appreciate everybody, honestly, that checks out the channel and these videos and all the support. and just love having, you know, like-minded fans for this game, arena, indoor, whatever. It's all the same to me. I love watching it all. It's so much fun to me, and I know there's plenty of people that enjoy it as well. But yeah, let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are or anything in this video. Like I said, I appreciate everybody checking it out, and I will see you in the next one. Later.